Hi everyone, welcome. Thanks for joining today's live webinar. I hope everyone is well. My name is Riley and I assist in coordinating our various free webinars we hold every month that we post on our events page on our website. I'm based here in our head office in Perth, Western Australia. To those of you who are new to our webinars, we would like to give you a warm welcome. For those of you who have attended one of our webinars previously, thank you and welcome back. Today's webinar is about your lifelong learning journey, particularly in regards to study pathways and articulation at EIT. We have a few presenters today, such as Indumathi, EIT's Deputy Dean, Caroline Patterson, EIT's Accreditation and Compliance Manager, and two of our current students who have kindly agreed to present for us for today's webinar. Hermanus Schultz is currently studying our online Bachelor of Science in Industrial Automation, and Martin Maesmola is one of our current Doctor of Engineering students, and he is also studying online. We would like to keep these webinars as interactive as possible. So please use the chat box if you have any questions or thoughts, or you'd like to share during the session. We also have Lebo, one of our course advisors from our South Africa office online, who will be answering any questions in the chat box. If we have some time at the end, we will hold a Q&A session where you can ask any questions in which we'll try to answer for you while we're live. These webinars are recorded and you will receive a copy of the PDF slides and a link to the recording in an email within the next 2 business days. I'll just move on to our agenda. So this is our agenda for today. So currently I'm about to introduce our main presenters and we'll provide an overview of EIT. And then we will focus on pathways and articulation with EIT, as I mentioned to you before, and run through an overview of our programs. We will also be speaking to the 2 current students we have live online as well that I mentioned, and at the end we'll hold a short Q&A session. And now I'd like to introduce our main presenters for today. Indu is EIT's Deputy Dean, and she's a chartered professional engineer with over 18 years of experience in engineering leadership and engineering education, and is currently working on her PhD in engineering education. As a passionate educator, her current PhD project focuses on using EEG brainwaves to empower student engagement and participation in the classroom. Caroline is EIT's Accreditation and Compliance Manager, and her career in education and training has spanned over 20 years, and she's been involved with multiple successful regulator, professional body, and internal audits. She has extensive experience in policy development in the vet and higher education sectors, ensuring compliance across all policies and processes institute-wide. Caroline is responsible for the oversight of EIT's vet and higher education operations, and also is a member of EIT's governance board. So without any further delay, I would like to hand over to Indu now, who will give an overview of EIT. Thanks, Indu.
Thanks, Riley. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon to learn more about EIT's programs, pathways, and articulation. I just want to start by giving a quick overview about who we are, about EIT. EIT, we are an engineering specialist, so we specialize just in engineering programs, so we don't focus on other specializations. And we are one of the only institutes in the world who specialize in engineering. And our programs range from a variety of, professional certificates, diplomas, advanced diplomas, undergraduate, graduate certificates, as well as bachelor, master, and all the way providing you a pathway into a doctorate of engineering as well. Now, the programs are industry-oriented programs, so which means when we design the programs, we have the industry outputs and the outcomes in mind. So we engage with industry experts to make sure that the programs that we're delivering have a value for you when you're working in the industry, and we make sure that we are current with our rapidly changing technology and industry developments, and that's why we come up with lots of professional certificates, so you're able to keep in touch with all the developments that goes on in your specific industry. Our programs are accredited in Australia and by the Australian government, TEXA, and we also have some of our programs recognized under 3 international engineering accords, the Dublin, the Sydney, and the Washington Accords. When we talk about programs, no program is complete without experienced lecturers who deliver them. So we have industry experienced lecturers who are both engineers and also academics with subject specialists in their specific field. And we source them from all around the world. So we are not geographically locked into looking for lecturers. We look for the best of lecturers from all around the world, and we provide them from both online and on-campus mode depending on the programs. And as you would have already known, we did have a unique delivery model in the sense that we have live interactive webinars similar to this one, where you are talking to someone who is live with you at the time, able to ask questions, able to demonstrate. We are able to share with you what we have in terms of our remote laboratories. If we are using software for that particular course, we're able to show the softwares to you during the lectures, as well as we have dedicated learning support officers as well who help you throughout any of the programs that you take, from professional certificates all the way to your doctorate program. Now, it is a lifelong journey. There is no such thing as arriving at a destination, in my opinion. So as we progress through different stages of our career, we might go in between different qualifications. So sometimes, for example, we've got students who have a bachelor's program coming back to do an advanced diploma specialization because that is relevant for them at that particular point in time for their career. Similarly, we have students who are in the advanced diplomas progressing into a bachelor or a master from there on, and going all the way up to a doctorate program. And in between, you might decide that I want to have some specific knowledge in a particular industry and do a professional certificate, for example, in hydraulics, because that's important for you at that particular point in time. So we believe in lifelong journey, learning journey, and so that what we do is we make sure that our qualifications have clear articulations for you to travel in between. So we have pathways for students all the way from, if you have just completed your secondary education, as well as we take into account your work experience and make sure there is pathways that recognize your education and industry work experience. So as an example here, you can see, for example, for an advanced diploma qualification entry, you require a educational pathway of a trade or a technical qualification, and combined with some work experience, you're able to enter into an advanced diploma. So I just saw a chat saying someone can't hear audio. Can everybody else hear me? Or is there any issue with the audio?
I can hear you, Indu.
No worries. Thank you. Sean, you perhaps have to check whether there is any issues on your end, because I think others can hear. Thank you. So again, there are other pathways as well. For example, if you have a year 12 and some work experience, again, you can enter into our bachelor program. And there are certain categories where you're able to enter directly just with a purely an educational pathway if the education meets the entry requirements for the program and is current and relevant as well. So you can look more about our educational pathways. As you can see, we have all the way from our advanced diplomas going through all the way to our doctorate program. So, step by step, you can chip away if you are what do you call it? Your goal is to attain a Doctor of Engineering. You can slowly progress throughout your career to make sure that you get into the Doctor of Engineering program. In terms of articulation and recognition of prior learning, so we provide automatic course credit for some of the units in your Bachelor of Science degrees for students who have already completed an EIT Advanced Diploma program. So we have articulation agreements in place. So what it means is it reduces the time that it takes for you to complete the EIT Bachelor program if you have an Advanced Diploma from us. The other pathway for you would be to think about recognition of prior learning. So if you have specific experience in the industry that can be counted towards some of the units that you need to undertake in your courses, be it bachelor's, master's, or advanced diploma programs, you are able to apply for recognition of prior learning along with the evidences that is required. So the evidence could be, formal learning, informal learning. So it could be some professional development courses or certifications that you took as part of your work. It could be what you do in your day-to-day work as well. And non-formal learning. So for example, let's say you've learned CAD on your own, you're applying it at work, you're able to show that evidence that, these are the projects I've done, then those can be worked towards your recognition of prior learning. And again, if you get your recognition of prior learning successfully, it reduces the time taking to complete your program as well. At this stage, I will pass over to Caroline Patterson, who would go through our VET programs. Over to you, Caroline.
Great, thanks Indu. Hi everybody, good to see so many people here today. So I'm going to go through firstly one of our professional certificate courses, and then I'll move into the vocational courses, the accredited courses. If anyone wants to know any further information as I'm speaking, all of program information is up on our website. You can also ask some questions in the chat here. Okay, so with our professional certificates of competency, these are 3-month short courses. So if you attend and complete one of these, you will receive a certificate of participation. And you'll be spending about 5 to 8 hours per week on the course, and you'll need to attend fortnightly webinars, and they're around 90 minutes. We do have a requirement for you to meet a minimum attendance, and that's 65% of the webinars. But if you can't attend during the live sessions, you'll be able to access all the recordings, and you can submit a very short written summary of the webinar once you've listened to it, and you can submit that to replace the live attendance. There will be assessments during the course, and if you're unable to achieve the required score, you'll have the opportunity to resubmit any of those assignments. And all of our professional certificate courses are available in all the different schools of engineering, and we're constantly adding new courses. So if you can't find one that meets your requirements, just stay in touch and we'll be releasing those quite regularly. We also have one, if you look at the bottom there, we have one that we've recently launched in hydraulics and pneumatics, and it's based around one of the units from our Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering. And if you complete that professional certificate, you would receive credit for that if you were successful in gaining entry to our Bachelor degree, just for the relevant unit in that degree. So that's a good incentive as well. Okay, so one of our student stories from our professional certificates, this is Letitia. She completed a program in PLCs. She wanted to find a program that she could study while she was working, and she was unable to attend classes in person. But she found, listening to the recordings and submitting those summaries, that she was able to complete it, and she's been able to then apply that in her workplace. She was referred to us by someone else that was studying, and they were doing their masters with us. So we find that a lot of professionals do come and do our professional certificates for quick upskilling or cross-skilling, and then they're able to apply that very quickly in their workplaces. So on to our accredited courses. So the first level of accredited course is a diploma or advanced diploma. We have a range of different courses which you can view on the website, and again, it covers all the schools of engineering. And they range from 12 months in duration up to 36 months. And we deliver these in what we call a part-time intensive format. So that would mean that you would need to spend approximately 10 to 15 hours per week on study. And that includes attending a weekly webinar of approximately 60 minutes. Again, we have an attendance requirement to meet the successful completion of the course, and that's 70%. But we still have that ability that if you can't attend the live tutorials because you have work commitments, family commitments, then you can submit summaries again in place of attending those live tutorials. And then the next step up in our vocational journey is the Vocational Graduate Certificate. We offer one program at this level, the Graduate Certificate in Renewable Energy Technologies. We do offer graduate certificates in the higher education sector as well, and Indu will cover those later on. But in the vocational space, this is the one that we offer. And it's a 6-month program. Our next one is starting on the 6th of September, if anyone is interested in joining. And again, you need to be attending approximately 10 to 15 hours per week to be successful. There's a weekly 90-minute webinar to attend, and there's a 70% attendance requirement. Okay, so we are lucky enough today to have one of our students joining us on the webinar. So Hermanus has completed our DIA program, so the Advanced Diploma of Industrial Automation. He completed that in 2019, and he's also now enrolled into our Bachelor of Science in Industrial Automation. So welcome, Hermanus. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Caroline, and good morning to and good afternoon to all the students that just joined. I'm sorry about the echo. There seems to be an echo. But thank you. Good morning.
We can hear you loud and clear. So you obviously had a lot of decisions to make when you were choosing where to study. What helped you decide to choose EIT?
Thank you for the question. So I think first and foremost was the flexibility within the program that EIT has offered me from the advanced diploma route. And then number two was when I've done the research, I've seen that the courses was tailor-made to our specific industrial needs, and that has really drawn me very close to EIT. So I've reviewed quite a number of institutes, and I felt that EIT was definitely the institute. And then number three for me was the lecturers. When I've reviewed on the website the lectures, I've noted that they're all professional practicing engineers. They're just not just normal academics. So that for me was, one of the key things which was also that when we actually in the webinars we can actually solve some of our technical problems that we also have in the field. And then last but not least, the recognition of the programs. They're all internationally recognized, especially the bachelors that I'm doing now.
Great. Thank you very much. So you mentioned that the flexibility of the course and the support that you gained as a student was important. Maybe if you could expand on your experience with the support and the flexibility of the program and how that helped you through while you were learning and working at the same time.
Yeah. So firstly, the management system that EIT uses, which is called Moodle, where you would log in and would get, the world of information right there for you to, enables you, to get through the program, and then also the dedicated learner support officers. That was also one of the key things that really helped me as a student, to get through the program.
Excellent. Great. It is a very unique setup that we have with our learning support officers, and we find that students really appreciate having that one point of contact rather than having to guess who to contact, especially when you're working and studying remotely as well.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, great. I'm glad you found that useful. So how is the knowledge that you've gained from the course that you've already completed and the course that you're studying now, how have you been able to apply that in your workplace?
Yeah, no, most definitely. I do remember when I was studying the advanced diploma, we had a specific technical problem, and then we've covered one of the modules, and I immediately, took that knowledge that I've gained from that course and went and applied it at my workplace. The time I used to be a process control engineer, I would take some of these best practices. So once you sign up with EIT, you would get access to their library, which have all the best practices for the program that you studied for. And I've read through those books, and I took some of those best practices and I've implemented it into my workplace. So definitely, and sometimes I would also become, where somebody, when the people in my sphere would phone me and, talk to me about specific problems that they have at their plant, and then we would solve that together. And then, and then also a word of advice to them would be that, guys, I am doing this with EIT, and I know that some of them already signed up, doing certificates and advanced diplomas because of the flexibility within the program.
Excellent, that's great to hear. There's a question for you, Hermanus, in the chat from Jerry. He wants to know how much time do you expect to take to complete the degree after you completed your advanced diploma?
Yeah, really, I didn't waste time because of I think I finished in May and then in June. I think there was like a month break, and then I've just started on with my bachelor's.
Yep, and you gained credit from your advanced diploma into your bachelor degree, is that correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
and how much time has that?
8 credits.
Yeah, how much time has that saved you?
I think in total about a year and a half, 18 months.
That's great. So you should only have about 18 months, Jerry, I think, that Hermanus will take. If he's studying full-time, he would take 18 months to complete it. But students have the opportunity to study part-time as well. So you can take a reduced load when you need to, and then you can also increase unit load as well as as required if you wanted to speed up. And Simon, Hermanus did our advanced diploma of industrial automation.
That's correct.
Okay, so I understand you're looking to do your master's after you completed your bachelor degree. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, of course. So myself and Jason, which is the EIT HE manager, we had a few discussions. I've been thinking of doing a second degree, but then I thought of my purpose, why I'm doing this. And I just feel it's right for me, to pursue on with my master. So I think for me, the focus now is to close off this last 18 months to finish off my bachelor's. With the COVID restrictions, I'm hoping, and I'm really planning, to go and graduate in Australia, because I would love to, to meet everyone there, or all the people that seen me through, the course. And then who knows? Maybe I'll scoop a few promotions after, completing my master's. And hopefully, become a lecturer at EIT, and then I can lecture all the future students.
Oh, that would be amazing, Hermanus. Okay, so the last one. With all the experience you've had studying with EIT during advanced diploma and bachelor's, what would be your advice to any future student looking to study?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So I would advise, the future students and also the past students, don't wait too long. The COVID pandemic have learned us a few things. That face-to-face is not, a thing to do anymore. And with EIT, refining the craft over years, I would strongly advise you guys, don't wait to say that we're waiting for face-to-face to go back to normal. I think, go to the website, get registered. It's a very easy process. You sign up, you get, it's a complete interactive session. You will get feedback, and then just go through that process and just sign up. And then once you're in the program, very important, please make sure that you go through your lectures, your pre-recordings. Don't set yourself a target for completion of 70%. Go 100%, because that's where you gain the most valuable knowledge, when you have that interactive session with your lecturer. And then use your LSO to your advantage. Those persons, they move mountains for you. If you give them the constraint short time, they really go, and then make things very easy. I personally had a few constraints, which I think Alison and Megan at the time, moved things for me around. And then last but not least, understand why you're signing up to do a specific course. Define the purpose and remind yourself, why you're doing this, and then the commitment would automatically set in. And then by setting in that commitment, the good grades just naturally follow.
Great. Thanks so much for your time today, Hermanus. I hope you can stick around. Maybe some of the people attending today might have some questions for you. But for now, I'll hand back over to Indu. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Caroline. So let's continue on. So I want to give a quick overview of our higher education programs, and we'll also be having a chat to one of our students who's undertaking our Doctor of Engineering program as well. So in terms of higher education program, we offer, as a start, the bachelor's program. So we have 4 bachelors. We've got our civil and structural engineering, our electrical engineering, industrial automation, and mechanical engineering. Now take note, this is a Bachelor of Science 3-year program. So this is comes under your Sydney Accord with Engineers Australia or the Engineering International Alliance. So you would be graduating as an engineering technologist when you complete a 3-year bachelor program. Students undertaking this Bachelor of Science, we expect you to spend about 10 hours a week per unit that you undertake. That's how much you need to spend, to make sure that you've mastered that unit and you're quite comfortable with the content and understanding what's going on. In terms of your time commitment with tutorials, for bachelor students, we expect you to be spending about 90-minute weekly tutorials, live participation for bachelors, and about 60-minute tutorials for master students. And we expect you to attend at least 70% of the live tutorials. Now, the reason we are expecting you to attend at least 70% is to ensure that you are going to succeed into the program. Now, if you can't attend a live tutorial, which is understandable, especially if you're working, you can provide a summary to show that you have understood what went on in the tutorial. So that would be taken in place of attendance. And this is for most units, not all, because some units we do expect you to participate fully in live sessions. In addition to tutorial sessions, we also provide pre-recorded lectures, and we expect you to watch the pre-recorded lectures because tutorials are there for you to be able to ask questions that arises from listening to the lectures and reading the materials and and the assessments and so on. So tutorials are supposed to be more interactive, so we expect you to listen to the pre-recorded lecture and then come to the tutorial to undertake more knowledge from your lecturers. We also have our graduate certificate programs. So graduate certificate programs are more about like a micro or a mini qualification that leads into your master's pathway. So these are 6 months full-time programs, or if you're doing it part-time, it will obviously extend a bit further. At the moment, we've got a graduate certificate in civil, structural, electrical, industrial automation, mechanical. We also have graduate certificate in electrical and instrumentation and oil and gas, railway infrastructure, safety, risk and reliability engineering, and we have quite a few coming soon as well in the pipeline. So with these graduate certificates, you will be doing about 4 units to complete each of them successfully. And again, the time commitments are very similar to what you saw previously for a master's program. That's what the time commitment is for your graduate certificate. So about 10 hours per week per unit, and 60 minutes per your live tutorial sessions. And then, of course, you can progress into a Masters of Engineering. So Masters of Engineering is, of course, it goes to a next level. And we've got 4 key Masters of Engineering that we deliver, which is our civil structural, electrical, industrial automation, and mechanical. We also have 3 other Masters program. The intakes we haven't decided, it will be advised soon. So this was for our railway infrastructure, electrical and instrumentation and oil and gas, and the safety, risk, and reliability. So as mentioned before, the time commitments are very similar to our bachelors in terms of 10 hours per unit and committing about 60 minutes for a live tutorial, as well as making sure that you watch a pre-recorded session as well. What I would like to do is to invite Martin to join us for to talk about our Doctor of Engineering and his experience completing our Doctor of Engineering. Now, Martin has completed EIT's Master of Engineering Electrical Systems in the online mode in 2020, and he's currently studying the Doctor of Engineering program. Martin is also a recipient of EIT's Dean Scholarship, so he's done very well in terms of keeping his commitment to studying. And perhaps if Martin's here, welcome Martin. Are you able to hear me, Martin?
Yes, I can hear.
All right, welcome.
I don't know if everybody can hear me.
I can hear you very clearly.
All right, thank you.
All right, so perhaps Martin, if you can tell us what made you decide to study with EIT?
Yes, I'm a working professional. As a working professional, so I actually needed to further my studies, and as such, I then decided that I'm looking for an institution that will offer me that opportunity, because I cannot go full-time into a university or go and attend classes at the university. So I looked for an opportunity or an institution that will allow me to work and at the same time be able to study. That's one of the things that went into my decision. The other thing is that I was looking for an accredited program. Now, in my case, I'm a consulting professional, so I was and I'm registered with the Engineering Council of South Africa as a professional engineering technologist. So I needed a program that would articulate me into the chartered engineer status or the professional engineer status. So EIT had such a program for that basically met my needs. But most of all, I was also looking for an institution that will obviously enhance my engineering knowledge, and maybe in a different institution, because I'm in South Africa, so I was looking for something different, and ability to also interact with students outside South Africa. So that's what basically happened. EIT offered opportunity for me.
Thank you, Martin. I just wanted to highlight one of the things that Martin said, which was the program accreditation and the recognition. So when a program is recognized under a Washington Accord, it has mutual recognition between different engineering alliances. So even though we have an Engineers Australia recognition for our MEE program, it is also recognized under the EXA based on the International Engineering Alliance mutual recognition system. So anyone thinking about, if you're working in South Africa and you need to get that program accredited and get the professional engineering status, or if you're a technologist and you need the Sydney Accord status, they are mutually recognized in South Africa as well. Now, what would you describe as your learning experience with EIT so far, Martin?
Actually, there's no difference, if I may put it that way, between having to do contact classes as well as online, because the recorded lectures basically makes it easy in case you have missed a lesson, and that is the biggest advantage, especially if you are working professional with commitments. If it happens that you miss the lecture, you can still go back and and review the work and go through the modules and so on, and that makes it quite easy for one to be able to catch up. The majority of the information that one needs is available on the library. It makes it easy for the referencing and so on. Another element is the support that one basically received. I mean, the LSOs you know, they are phenomenal. I mean, at any given time when you need to communicate with them, they respond. They are prompt to respond to your questions. They are actually interested in making sure that you basically succeed. And the LSO, the learning support officers, it's actually a unique way of supporting students and ensuring that they succeed in the program. So, and I find I mean, I can mention the assistance received from the LSOs, especially when you are unable to submit your assignments on time and so on, and having commitments of any form or any nature. So they were very helpful in ensuring that one goes through the program.
Thank you, Martin. And again, I wanted to highlight what Martin said in terms of our recorded lectures. So it is very useful to, be able to review materials before an assessment even, or if you're not understanding something quite well, you can go and, revisit some of the lectures, as well as besides having e-library, we also have remote laboratories and simulation softwares that are online. So which means that you can conduct an experiment or do a design drawing as many times as you want. You just book a session online and you go look at the software. If you're designing something in CAD, you go through that. If you're looking at a particular software, again, you can go through that multiple times. So we do have unique systems in place to support students. And in terms of your experience with EIT, do you have or have you had a favorite lecturer or instructor so far?
Yes, actually, lectures at EIT, they are phenomenal, all of them. From the starting of my program in my first year, continuing to my second year and during my research. But, like sometimes people come into your life, they make a significant impact. And I think I had few that I can mention, Dr. Hadi Hab, and I took, I think, 2 modules with Dr. Hadi Hab and Dr. Munira. I think I did 3 modules with Dr. Munira and Dr. Moteza. I did 1 module with him, but he's still my supervisor for the doctorate program at the moment. With Dr. Hub, I just use that statement, makes it easy to understand by the pace. Dr. Hub takes time in basically explaining the concept, and it actually makes it easy for a student to understand, especially if you are like me, being a senior student and have spent some time from your junior degree to maybe get into the masters. So you need somebody that could, unearth some of the basics and things like that. And Dr. Hub does that very well. Dr. Munira, she takes time. I did very complex modules with her, so like earthing and lightning protection, and so on. And she really made it easy for me with her structured approach and also the interactive nature of the way she presents the lectures. Dr. Muteza takes some time in terms of going back to the basics, which is good for a student who hasn't basically been studying for quite some time, and from there then accelerate the program once the basics are covered. So if you are maybe thinking of doing the master's program and you haven't been studying for quite some time and you have been working, I think the approach from all these lecturers makes it easy for for a senior student to easily get in touch with the academic world.
Thank you very much, Martin. Indeed, we have quite a few really good lecturers with us, and we are very fortunate to have these lecturers help our students and run our programs. And as I said before, for example, Dr. Hadi, he is based in Spain, and Dr. Motiza, he is based in Melbourne, and Dr. Munira, she's based in Perth. So we have people from different parts of the world teaching our students. Now, in terms of, the knowledge that you acquired, Martin, from your courses, have you found that you've been able to apply what you've learned from your studies into your workplace?
Definitely, and in fact, I think this is the uniqueness in terms of the EIT's programs. And I'm not only mentioning the Masters of Engineering programs. I mean even the BSc program, because in my office I do have a privilege of having one of the students that studied with EIT, and he's still completing his BSc, but he is actually an engineer that you can immediately use, because the modules or the programs are practical and they are for the world of work. And for the past 10 years in our company, we have trained quite a number of students. And what I find different from a student who just graduated from a university, some in South Africa, and the student that basically come from EIT, we find that the basics from other students have adequately been covered, but it is the practical application of what a student has covered. And with EIT students, we find that their knowledge is more current. For example, in my case, majority of the modules that I have covered, from substation automation with the standard 61850, it was something that is already in the industry. The questions and the manner at which the modules are covered, they are more practical and have got more practical application. The standards like IEEE 80, it's something that we covered in class, and I was able to apply it with immediately. And I must indicate that this module, the earthing and lightning protection, we covered with Dr. Munira. And while we were working with the subject, I was working on a design, and what we did in class is something that I automatically applied on my working environment. So that's why I'm saying it is more practical, and they concentrate on industry standard, on something that is industry orientated, and that's what makes the difference for an engineering program.
Thank you very much, Martin. And yeah, just to add on to that as well. So most of the softwares that we use here, be it your PLCs, be it your software to design your earth protection systems, all are based on what is currently being used in the industry. So students, if you're in the design profession as well, you will be using the software that are relevant to the industry. And again, you can transfer that knowledge straight away in your workforce as well. Now, in terms of your future progress, what are you looking to do after you complete your studies with EIT?
Well, at this stage, I'm still continuing to mentor some few students in our company, and I'm currently, busy with the Doctor of Engineering. I'm affiliated with some university in South Africa, where I am currently a chairperson of the advisory committee for electrical engineering. So going forward, I'll probably still continue to be a consulting engineer in South Africa, and continue to run the consulting engineering work, and if needs be, from time to time, assist with some students in terms of their training and so on, and probably give some lectures at the university and continue with research. And I think that is my future goal, especially with the Doctor of Engineering. That's what I want to do, and pursue the career in the teaching environment, and still being a practicing electrical engineer.
Yeah, it's very good to see your passion in your career and your clear pathway forward that you have in your mind. And I wish you all the very best, Martin. Now, any advice that you would give for a future student looking to studying either advanced diploma, bachelor, masters, whichever it might be, but studying at EIT, what would you say?
Yes, I think the most important thing is, first, you need to know why you want to pursue studies in engineering. And if you really enjoy engineering, you need to look more into the content of the program and the structure, because the way the program is structured is how you are going to apply your knowledge going forward and what are you going to gain. Then from there, look at the institution that best suits your needs and whether that program, in terms of accreditation and its recognition. Like I said, the program that I chose, it's a Washington Accord accredited program, which will allow me to become a chartered professional engineer or a professional engineer in South Africa. So that is the choice that I made. And also look at the content, whether it, the practicality of the program, not the cost. Sometimes one decide to look for a cheaper program, and then you don't look at the content and how practical the cost is. So I chose the institution that best suits my need. Then from there, choose on the mode of study. If in my case, I chose the online because it works for me. In some instances, if the program is good, you might decide to go and study on campus. Whether you want to study part-time or full-time, that is the choice that one makes, especially if you are looking at your own personal circumstances. So yeah, and EIT in my case provided me with an opportunity to meet students elsewhere in the world. I have now I have friends in Australia, in the Middle East, a gentleman that I constantly talk and we exchange ideas and things like that. So yeah, it becomes a personal choice, and from there you can advance your career. But don't wait too long. If it's something that you want to do, just act, just do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Martin, for those tips. I think it's really important for students to consider those points that you mentioned when they're deciding what they want to do. Choosing the right, right program and the right institution is very important, because end of the day that, gives you the boost and the morale to continue with the program. It also helps you to succeed in the program as well. I just want to wrap this up by talking about the Doctor of Engineering program, which is what currently Martin is embarked on and is doing. So the Doctor of Engineering program is a 3-year full-time or part-time equivalent. So if you're doing it full-time, you will take about 3 years to finish. If you're doing it part-time, again, depending on your progress, you would be taking a bit longer to study. You can do it online, or you can actually do it on campus here in Perth as well. These are the next intake dates. So in January 2022 for online, and 21st February 2022 for on campus. And as long as it's a good proposal in an engineering field for your research, we will be able to take you on board. Now, the Doctor of Engineering program, again, is, it's the key thing that you will do is you'll make original and significant, which is, very useful for your industry. So it could be a development of an application, it could be evaluating of a certain systems or something that's already existing in terms of knowledge, and you're engaging with what is happening in the industry. And that's the main difference between this Doctor of Engineering. It's a professional engineering program, which means you're able to look at problems and solve problems, applied problems in the industry. Now, in terms of pathways to Australia, you have 2 campuses in Australia. We've got the Perth campus in Western Australia and Melbourne campus in Victoria. And you have the opportunity to apply for a higher ed program on campus with EIT if you are wanting to come and study with us on campus here as well. This stage, I'll probably pass this over back to Riley. And thank you all very much.
Thanks, Indu. I really appreciate it. Thanks to all the presenters, Caroline, Indu, and especially our 2 students, Hermanus and Martin. Thank you very, very much, guys. They took time out of their days to join us today, so thank you very much. I'd just like to let everyone know we have an upcoming technical topic webinar if anyone is interested in that one. our technical topic webinars are slightly different. We have one of our academics come online and present a technical topic that happens about a couple of times a month. So be sure to check out our events page on our website regularly to see all of our upcoming webinars. The link to this technical topic webinar is displayed on the screen there, and you can also find it on our events page on our website. And now we'll just do a bit of a Q&A session. I know there's already been a few questions coming through the chat box, which is great. So I'd just like to mention if anyone has any further questions that they would like answered while we're live, just feel free to send them through, and we'll try and answer them for you while we're still online. If anyone does need to go, that is okay. This webinar is recorded and will be sent out to you within the next 2 business days. And here are all of our contact details as well, including my email address at the bottom if you would like to contact me. But otherwise, we'll just monitor the chat box for any questions. Indu or Caroline?
Yep. I can take Suleiman's question.
Yeah.
Yep, so Suleiman, you're asking if you can switch from online to on-campus at any point. Yes, you can. So the course that you're studying online and on campus are exactly the same. So anything that you complete online, you can transfer over to an on-campus enrolment. For anyone that wants to study in Australia, you do need to apply and be granted a student visa. So that is a condition of enrolment, but we can certainly transfer your enrolment across, no problem.
Thanks, Caroline. I believe we've got a question from Cherie. We don't have a bachelor's degree in petroleum engineering at this stage. I'm not sure, Indu, if you know if that has been discussed.
No, so you're right. We don't have a bachelor degree specifically in petroleum engineering at this stage, but we will be looking at some sort of pathway and in terms of an elective pathway into it in the future. But unfortunately, yeah, not at this stage.
Thanks, Indu. Grosvin, if you would like to get in touch with a course advisor, we do have one of our course advisors in the session. She will get back to you as soon as possible. We've got everyone's details who's registered for the webinar, so we'll be sure to get back to you as soon as possible.
Greg, I can take that question on semester 2 enrolments. Semester 2 has closed, but our enrolments are open for semester 1 2022. So all of those are available on our website. You can have a look there, and we would encourage you to do so. And then I think there's a couple of other questions I thought I might quickly take. So, understanding credits, I think we've just done that one. With the BTEC for NQF level 7, we will get in contact with you. We would need to assess some equivalency for you, and then we can see whether we can advise you on some entry into that master's degree for you. I think that's it. Back to you, Riley.
Thanks, Caroline. Greg, I think you've answered all of his questions. Moses, we do offer a bachelor's degree, a Bachelor of Science in Industrial Automation, which is in the instrumentation field, and we also offer our Master of Engineering in Industrial Automation. So be sure to have a look at that on our website.
Indu, did you want to address Richard's question there about practical sessions?
I'm wondering whether if Richard's asking about, are you currently doing our Bachelor or Masters, Richard? You're talking about the end of the year workshops? Bachelor, and where are you located?
I think Richard, he said he's currently enrolled for the Advanced Diploma in Civil and Structural Engineering due to complete in August. He'd like to know at what point after his completion of that course can he enroll for the Bachelors for January 2022 intake.
Might just talk about Richard's practical question quickly. So you're right, unfortunately, with the COVID restrictions, it is difficult to come to Perth on campus to complete the practical experience. But we are looking at providing a opportunity for students to come into South Africa to complete the workshops later this year. But perhaps that's something that you may be able to do much easily, Richard.
There's a lot of questions coming through the chat box, guys. So we'll try and get through a few more over the next 5 minutes. But everyone, just please take note. Our contact details are on the screen as well. So if your question isn't answered within the next 5 minutes, please feel free to get in contact with us via email or phone. And we will get back to you as soon as we can.
I'll probably answer the question from Sylvester regarding the professional recognition under EXA. So our advanced diploma in industrial automation is fully accredited under the Dublin Accord with Engineers Australia, and again under mutual recognition you will be recognized as an engineering technologist and associate engineer, under the Dublin Accord with EXA as well. So you would be able to get that same recognition with EXA as we have here under Dublin Accord. Thank you.
I'll take Utsav's question about when do you meet your LSO. So Utsav, once you're enrolled, you will meet your LSO during orientation or during the first week of your study. They'll be in contact with you to introduce themselves and to give you their contact details, and then they'll be your point of contact. So you'll meet them once you're enrolled.
Thanks, Caroline. Is there any questions we've missed? I think Steph asked if people can still develop a career in engineering as a mature age student. Definitely, Steph. We do, you might want to have a look at our study pathways on our website. Our courses do have different entry requirements. So you'd need to look at what course would be most suitable for you based off your work experience and your qualifications.
Yeah, but I would just add that age is not a barrier in terms of your career pathway. You can enter any time and continue to work towards your career in engineering. I might take one of the questions from Tim regarding entry requirements for the GCEE. So in terms of the 10-year experience, we look for evidences of your work experience, and in particular cases, we may also ask for reference letters from your employers to ensure that you have that 10 years work experience at least at the technologist level. But for the enough time to complete the process for the intake in a couple of days' time, I probably would say it's a little bit too late, but you probably want to think about the next intake. Tim, thank you.
Richard, I will take your question about enrolment for 2022 after your advanced diploma completion. You can apply now if you would like, and then if you haven't completed your studies at that time, your enrolment into 2022, if you're successfully accepted, would be conditional on successful completion of your advanced diploma. So you could start that process now if you would like.
Okay. So Tim, I think he's asked a question about what is considered a technologist level. Could you just briefly touch on that, Indu? Oh, thank you. You've already answered the question in the chat. That's great. Thank you. And there is a question from Bernd Bloom. Examinations using Iris. We do use Iris. So we do use those for our online examinations. We've had quite a lot of success with that, and yeah, we're continuing to use Iris into the future. And I believe that's all we have time for today, everyone. Thank you very much to those who are still with us in the session. So yeah, thank you for attending our live webinar today. And as I said before, please feel free to get in contact with us. All of our contact details are on the screen. So yeah, thank you. Have a nice rest of your day. And we'll be glad to see you for one of our next webinars. Thank you.
Thanks, Riley. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
For
And
taking your
goodbye.
time. Thank you, Martin, and thank you, Hermanus. Thanks, Caroline.
Goodbye.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Bye-bye.